Good morning, everyone. Welcome to morning meeting. Today we're joined by Bertram, our common raven ambassador. As always, let me know where you guys are tuning in from. If you have any questions, certainly drop them in the comments. I'd love to answer them today. Oh, there's some treats. Good boy. We're gonna hang out here for a little bit. And then we'll probably take him for a walk once he gets bored. Welcome, everyone. So Bertram is a common raven. They're pretty intelligent birds. So our ravens are in our corvid family. So those are our crows, our ravens, blue jays, magpies. Hi, Mom. So they are highly intelligent. They're one of the most intelligent birds in the world. So he's about as smart as a 9 or a 10-year-old. That's why we're just going to sit here for a little bit, because he's actually still in training right now. He's about 2 years old. He's been with us since he was about 6 months old. So excuse him, I will be giving him some of his breakfast while we're hanging out this morning. Because Bertram, where'd your grape go? Sorry, I dropped it. Bertram is a larger bird. He is on the more predator side of the spectrum. And so inside and closed areas are really scary for him. So we are getting him used to being inside under our pavilion like we are right now. Going through doorways. It's all quite scary for such a intelligent bird. And ravens are actually known for being neophobic, which means that they're afraid of new things. So anytime we give him a new toy, he'll kind of throw something else at it as a sacrifice until he realizes, oh, it's okay, I can use that. Yeah. Peter, does he talk? So Bertram can say mimic words just like Dante, our American crow, could. He, however, does not like to show off like Dante did. So he can say hi, or he says, yeah. He says, don't do that, come here. He barks like a dog. He makes a water droplet sound. But he only makes those sounds when he knows no one's here. So we have a camera in with him for a little while, and just so we could see what he was doing. And we learned that that's when he was practicing, when no one was here, he thought no one was here. So he does mimic, he just doesn't like to show off like Dante did. Good. You're good. Yeah. But they are incredible mimickers. You might be able to hear him making like a sound right now. It's essentially like a baby talk. So Bertram was about 6 months old when he came to us. He was a first-year bird. So he, yeah, still kind of acts like a juvenile. His mouth, if he does open it for you, you'll see that it's like pink and black. So when they're really young, they do have that pink mouth, and then as they get older, especially more dominant individuals, will become black. So his is still a bit mottled. What are you doing? What do you think? Hey, come here. Come here. Oh, yeah. It's a little familial noises that he does make with his caretakers, which is really cool to listen to. Will. So he weighs about 1.5 pounds. He is a solid boy for sure. Unlike a lot of our hawks and our owl species who are more vertical in stature, he's obviously more horizontal. Want some more treats? What do you think? Yeah. Oh. Good boy. Nice job. Thank you for getting guts in my mouth. Right. But he is a large bird. So our ravens are, like I said, corvids, which are songbirds. So he's not actually a raptor at all. He doesn't have those strong talons like a hawk or an owl will have. But that beak is very, very strong, however. So say sometimes the difference between like a crow and a raven, besides the fact that he weighs just as much as our red-tailed hawk does, where crows are closer to the size of a blue jay, he has that very large beak that can easily puncture a human skull. They're known to actually flip turtles and take them from the bottom. So that beak is very, very strong. So the ravens are a beak with a bird, and the crows are a bird with a beak. So that is very strong, even though his talons aren't as strong as raptors. Good morning, Robin and Charlie. She wants to know what he's eating this morning. So ravens are scavengers, which means that they're kind of like our janitors. So he will eat pretty much anything. We haven't found anything that he doesn't really like. But our scavenger platters, which he gets, our crows get, our opossums, our gulls, is a protein. So either like fish or mice or chicks. Dog food or cat food, some fruits and veggies, and then some egg as well. But he will eat pretty much everything. Where some other ambassadors and patients are a bit more picky, he is not at all. He will eat literally pretty much anything we give him, which is cool to see him explore, even, hey, no, new things. So he's like, what's that? And then he's okay. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Kim. Oh, yeah, he is quite cute, right? Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, Carolyn. Oh, thank you so much, Will, for donating. That's so sweet of you. As always, we are a nonprofit. We don't receive any state or federal funding for the work we do. So we are grant and donation funded, as well as our program fees. So your donations really truly mean so much to us. Especially while we're still not fully back into normal, if we'll ever actually be back to that anytime soon. Good morning, Chuck from Rhode Island. Good morning, Louise from Webster. Good morning, Yvette. Good morning, Kara. What kind of dog food, wet or dry? So he'll get both. Depends on what we have in stock at the moment. So the cat food and the dog food, so some of the animals do get certain one or the other just because the cat has more protein in it. So we will give him some of that, but we also need to reserve like a lot of our wet food that has liver in it for our patients as well. So when we do give them wet food, it's kind of like, good boy, nice Rouse. So that means he's calm and relaxed, and when they shake out their feathers like that, good boy. Yeah. You're so good. Oh, I know. I know, you have so much to say. So we do need that liver cat food or dog food for our patients. So when we do give them wet food, it's more of like a treat. So like Fridays is a special enrichment day for all of our ambassadors, and so sometimes I'll give him some of that if we have any on Fridays, just because it's a little different. But we do sometimes also soak their dog food and cat food. Particularly that's what Bertram will get on his platter sometimes, just to make it a little bit softer. Not that he really cares, because that beak is so strong. But we'll use dog food and cat food for like training treats with him too as well. So like, he's getting hard cat food today, just because that was what I grabbed. Who is pickier, him or the vulture? From Ryan. So our vulture's name is Violet. So she's actually fostering a baby right now, or two babies, so she's actually over in our medical clinic right now. Neither of them are very picky at all. So Violet will also eat lots of different things. Yeah. I love your little noises, they're so cute. She sometimes, like, when we give her big fish heads if they're too old. So vultures their food, they'll like it maybe a day old, 2 days old, 3 days old. It's like a different taste. As like fine wine ages, so does their decomposing food. And so different vultures have a different taste level that they prefer. So sometimes Violet will decide she doesn't want to eat if something has gone too bad. We've seen that sometimes with our fish heads that have gotten thawed for too many days, but she's normally pretty much just like Bertram. She'll eat pretty much anything. dog, or mice, chicks, quail, guinea pig, rabbit. When we get like deer ribs donated to us, she really enjoys that after she realizes that she doesn't have to be afraid of it. Yeah. But neither of them are very picky though. Caroline, how long do they usually live in captivity in the wild? From Molly. So in the wild, yeah. Hey, come here. We'll go walk for a second. Let me just finish answering these questions, and then we'll go walk. Good boy. So in the wild, they will generally live into their teens, but they have been known to live into their 20s and 30s in captivity. So he is only about 2 years old, so we're hoping to have him for a really long time, because you're so magnificent. He actually came to us 'cause he was a youngster. He was less than 6 months old when he came to us. So he was fully grown, but he was still young. So he was actually kidnapped out of the wild as a baby. So unfortunately, someone had found him begging at their doorstep, and they had called Avian Haven up in Freedom, Maine. They're another wildlife hospital just like us, except they specialize in birds. So someone had called them saying that I had this raven begging for food. Avian Haven, of course, said this, yes, please bring it in. If he's begging, like, something's probably wrong. Unfortunately, they did not bring him in. They tried to keep him for a little while. So in that time, he became imprinted on humans. So he, instead of learning that he was a raven, he learned that he might be possibly human. So he has no fear. And that also kind of explains why his mouth is still a little pink, because he does kind of see himself as more of a subordinate here at the center, even though he is 2 now. So that is why he is with us. He doesn't have any any physical injuries or anything like that, but he just thinks he's human, unfortunately. Oh, thank you so much for donating, Lisa. That was so sweet of you. Chuck, he's 2. Bob, Davy, and Charlie want to know what type of meat ravens will eat in the wild. So they will eat pretty much anything they can get. So he is more of a predator. So he can take his own food. That beak is very, very strong. That's why we wear 2 gloves when we're working with Bertram, just because they explore with their mouths. And so sometimes he'll play with his mouth and play with the glove, and doesn't quite realize how big and strong he is. But they will eat pretty much anything. They've been known to they're able to puncture turtles. They're able to get through that bone. Sometimes we'll see, more so crows a lot in like our trash cans, but we do see them and our ravens in the trash cans as well, especially right here on Mountain Road where we are at the Center for Wildlife. We see them a lot, getting into people's trash. Good boy. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Tara's so jealous. He is quite magnificent, that's for sure. He is still in training, so there's only a couple of us that do work with him, just because he is so big and strong, doesn't quite realize it, but he's magnificent, that's for sure. 'Cause he's so smart. Yeah. He's very cool. Chuck, we have him because he was imprinted on humans. Because he was kidnapped out of the wild as a baby. Yeah. Carrie, does he also molt? Yes. So he doesn't look as bad right now. Hold on. I dropped your glove. Right now, especially some of our owls look pretty funky right now, but he does molt. He just, well, yeah. Maybe we'll see his legs are pretty bare right now. In the process of getting those. Here, want some treats? But yeah, you're right, the owls look pretty funky right now. Good boy. I think I got all the questions. Wanna go for a walk? We can go for a walk. Easy. Cool. So we're gonna go explore, see what Bertram wants to do today. Thank you for pooping on the table. Right, Bertram. So we're just gonna go down our little vernal pool trail and see if Bertram wants to hang out in the grass and stuff like that. Good boy. Chuck, does Bertram speak like humans? So he can say a few words. We've heard him say, ouch, don't do that, come here. He barks like a dog. You're okay. He barks like a dog, he makes water droplet sounds. But Bertram, unlike Dante, our late American Crow, does not like to show off like Dante did. So Dante would talk anytime someone walked by his enclosure when he was excited. Bertram, on the other hand, is not a fan of showing off. He will not talk if he thinks anyone's around. So that's why we only know that he talks because we've seen him do it on camera. Baba Raven's more active in the day or the night. So they are diurnal, just like us, so they are active during the daytime. Oop, you're fine. What? What is it? You're fine. Oop. You're fine. So he actually, we found out, we've seen where he sleeps because of the camera, but we also know that he likes to hang upside down in his free time, which is pretty funny. Right? Want to sit for a second? Cool. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Chuck, so now that some of our staff is more, you're fine. Want to sit? More available, so we have been getting him back used to his walks that he was going on a normal basis. Good. Sit down. Want to play? What do you think? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Hey. What's going on over there? Yeah. Bertram, what is it? So we are trying to get him used to his walks again. You're fine. You're fine. Like I said, ravens are known to be neophobic. You just want to be in the glove? Which means that they are afraid of new things. So this is going back to getting him used to things again and being on the walks and gloves. So we're going to go back up to the pavilion. He's not overly thrilled right now. What? You're fine, buddy. See? You're okay. Sometimes he will play in like the leaf litter and peck things and eat bugs. But today he seems to just want to be on the glove, so we'll let him do that. Right? Hey, you're fine. You want to just sit? You can do that. You want to just sit? Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, there's something going on next door. You can hear voices. So I'm not totally sure what's going on over there today. Over at our new facility. Here, you want some treats? So you can be nice and happy again? Good boy. There you go. All better. Good boy, Bertram. Can you scooch a little? Yeah. You're okay. What do you think? Good boy, Bertram. Nice, nice Rouse. Good boy. Chuck, he actually weighs just as much as, Scarlet, our red-tailed hawk ambassador. So he's a substantial boy. Even though he does look a little bit smaller, he is more horizontal than a red-tailed hawk, whereas Scarlet is very tall. She's a very large red-tailed hawk on top of that. So he's a big boy, that's for sure. What are you thinking? You're fine. Yeah. It's hard for me to show you. Remember, someone had asked about the molting. He does have a little white patch right there, where his feathers are starting to grow in. Kara, has he ever tried to hunt anything on his walks? He does. So he will eat, like little bugs that he finds on the ground. You're fine. You're fine. Yeah. Good boy. See, all better. Good boy, Bertram. Nice job. Right now he's storing a lot of all those treats in his Quingle pouch. So right under his beak he has a little pouch where he likes to stash all of his food. And he'll just kind of keep it in there for a little while. Until he finally does eat it. So you're okay. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. He still has some dog food in his mouth. Yeah, he is skittish, Chuck. So ravens are known for being neophobic, so new things are very scary for them. Even though he is very large, he's very strong. He's kind of like a big puppy. He has to learn that he doesn't have to be afraid. So I'm slowly starting to get him used to being outside, being on walks again. Because they are so smart. And he didn't go for a lot of the... You have so much dog food in your mouth. You're fine. You're fine. Yeah, there you go. During quarantine, because we were focusing on our patients so much, because we had very limited staff. So we're just getting him used to being outside again on the glove. All so new to him again. Yeah. Will you show off your mouth? Louise, does he imitate voices? So he says, a couple of words. He says, ouch, don't do that, come here. He says, he makes a water droplet sound, he barks like a dog. Right? So he can mimic, just like crows, but he prefers not to show off. So he will only do it when he knows no one's around. Good boy. Good morning, Dana and Tyler. What is the difference between a raven and a crow? That's a great question. So Bertram is a common raven. He weighs just as much as a red-tailed hawk does. He's very large. They're our largest songbirds. So he's not a raptor like our hawks are and owls. He's just a big songbird, just like the robins and the blue jays that you see in your backyard. He's just large. So he has a much larger beak than a crow does. He's about 3 times bigger than a crow. A crow is closer to the size of like a blue jay, where he's about the size of a red-tailed hawk. They also have different wing shapes and tail shapes. So when you see, sometimes it can be hard to see if it's a big black body in the sky. The difference, but you can actually tell from the tail shape. But he is substantial compared to a crow. He's about 3 times bigger. Louise, he's about 2 years old now. So he came to us in December 2018. He was a first-year bird, so he had just would have left mom and dad. Right? So we know pretty much exactly how old he is. Yeah. But hopefully he'll live into his 20s and 30s, we hope. You still have so much dog food in your mouth. How about you swallow it? Good morning, Brian. Alright. Can I just make sure that I didn't miss any questions? Kara, is it typical that they're more timid than crows, or is that just Bertram? So their ravens are more so known for being neophobic, so afraid of new things. But we definitely saw it with Dante as well. So sometimes, like, he wouldn't as much sacrifice something to it, but when we put something in there, it might take him a little bit to get used to it. Like when we put like deer rib cages in there, he'd kind of watch it for a couple days and then finally go down and eat it with Violet. But the ravens definitely are known more so for it, of being afraid of new things and having to warm up to new things, right? But just like Dante, though, we'll try to show him how to use a toy, so he sees us playing with it. Right? You're fine. Chuck not yapping for food. Yeah, exactly, because he's eating right now. So he is content that he already had his breakfast. What? Come here. Can you stand more that way? Yeah. Yeah. You stand more that. Thank you. Amy, what do we do to activate his amazing tool skills? So we will give them different toys to play with. He requires a bit more complex things because they are the smartest bird, one of the smartest birds in the world. So we do give them different foraging toys, stuff that he has to essentially take apart to get into. So we'll give him lots of things to destroy. What else do we give you? We give him like ropes that he can play, like tug on and play with. We'll give him. I've seen people do like different perching styles. So like essentially a vertical rope that they have to climb up. But he does need a constant rotation of toys and different things to keep him occupied. So we do also offer him some environmental enrichment. We'll give him like big stumps that he can peck at, destroy as much as he pleases. So we give him a little kiddie pool essentially to cool down in, which took him last summer 3 months before he finally decided, oh, this is okay. Right? We gave you a big kiddie pool that you could splash around in and keep yourself cool, and you were afraid of it for 3 months. So, back to that phobia stuff. So we'll give him lots of different things, just because we want him to keep him occupied because he is so intelligent. Oh, thank you so much, Louise, for donating. That's so sweet of you. Louise, can he open jars? I don't know if we've ever given him a full jar to open. So he does have a wall that has like different locks and like the door hinges kind of things. So he has like a dozen or so of those that he can play with and undo and redo. Right? For a while he had one of I can't remember what they're called, but like the beads on different rows and you can do like math on them. So he had one of those for a while to play with the beads and stuff. But I don't know if we've ever actually got him to open a jar. That's a great question. What do you think? Want to try that out? Amy, do you have a 20-year plan to keep him growing mentally well? Will he have a chance to mate? So he will not be able to have a roommate because he is imprinted. So imprinted animals don't get along with others because they don't know what they are, essentially. So he essentially wouldn't know how to interact or communicate effectively with another raven. And a lot of times that can also cause them to be more aggressive towards other species just because they don't recognize that that's what they are. So he will unfortunately have to live all by himself, just like some of our other imprints. But we do give him constant enrichment. We always are constantly changing out his toys, moving his perching around, doing a bunch of things to keep him occupied. So that is a constant factor with him, just because he is so intelligent, because if he doesn't have that mental stipulation, he will get bored, and he will not be happy. And of course, their happiness is the utmost important to us. To make sure they're happy and stimulated. Good boy! So it's definitely something we are always monitoring. Right? There you go. Oh, thank you so much, Louise. And Elise, Amy, he's magnificent. People don't realize how large and intelligent these guys are. They're just incredible. Sally, they are not as social as crows in the wild. Sometimes you will see a couple hanging out together. We have a couple that do hang out in this, the area around the center. We have one that's been hanging off at our new facility. But they're definitely not as social, so you don't see those massive, murders like you would with the crows. Kara, so Dante and Violet were imprinted, so that's why they could live together. So sorry, I guess I misspoke a little bit. So they can't live with those of the same species. So Dante and Violet could live together because Dante was imprinted, just like Bertram. He was kidnapped as a baby. As a highly intelligent animal, that created issues for him. That's why he couldn't be released. But the two of them could live together because they were both scavengers. And he knew he wasn't a crow, but he also kind of recognized he wasn't totally human. So the two of them were a bit of an experiment. When we introduce two ambassadors, it is a slow process to make sure that everyone's gonna get along. But of course, Violet only eats dead food. Yeah. Can you turn around? Can you turn around? Can you turn around? Thank you. So vultures will only eat dead food, and that's why the two of them could live together. Crows will take smaller food, but they are more on the prey spectrum. The ravens are known to bully them, just because they are so much larger. And so he would never try to prey on a vulture. So he was way too small. And since he was living, Violet didn't care. And that's why the two of them could live together. Elise says he try to talk with other birds like he is. So he, right now, is making a lot of, like, baby and familial noises. So he actually makes crow noises as well. Once or twice I've heard him make some of the, like, croaking that the ravens will make. And that's because he's hearing it from the ravens that we have living around here. But he also does talk like a crow, which is pretty funny. Yeah, he is quite magnificent with the coloration. Just like the crows, he does have more of that iridescence to him. He's not actually black. It's more of a purpley blue reflection. Yeah, can you turn around? Can you turn around? Thank you. Thank you, Bertram. Yeah, so, the little that you can hear is those familial noises. So he makes that noise with his caretakers, because he is imprinted, thinks he is partially human, so he realizes we're his family, we love you. Right? So if anyone has any last questions about Bertram, or about the center, I can definitely answer them, but otherwise we're gonna go put him back and make sure everyone else is fed and ready to go. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. So as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're really glad you guys are still enjoying tuning in with us every single day. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. Bye, Bertram. What's that? See you, everyone. Oh, you're welcome, Chuck.